What up, everybody? This is Live and Wired. Welcome to another episode of Such. I am your host, Eric Norris from SLC Punkcast, and this is the show where we talk about shows that we have attended and shows that are coming up that we may want to attend and you may want to attend. So, yeah, I've got a few tales from the pit to tell you guys about. So, yeah, let's get into it. Tales from the pit. So the first tale from the pit, and this was probably the biggest one. It was the Ozzy Osbourne tribute show that Aces was putting on last Friday, and yeah, that was just basically a roulette of different musicians coming onto the stage, taking different instruments, drums, bass, guitar, vocals, whatnot, of what songs that they wanted to play, and that's how the set list was kind of curated. And yeah, it was awesome. There were so many different talents, some of whom I never even met, and some guys who I was associated with like one instrument and they're playing another one. For example, Holton from Deathblow. I know him as a lead singer and a guitarist, but he was also doing drums and he was also doing bass. Geronimo from Sacrilegion, he's a guitarist, he's a shredder, but he was also doing bass on a few songs. And then Tyler Barani, he is a drummer by trade, but he sang the very last song of the set, and why shouldn't he? More on that in a minute. But anyway, it was an awesome set list. There were so many hit songs and also some deep cuts of Ozzy Osbourne's catalog and the songs that he did with Black Sabbath. And I got to sing and play on 5 of them. Well, not at the same time, mind you, but yeah, it starts off with Bark at the Moon, and Connor Carlson, the singer of Sacrilegion, he comes up and he's dressed to the best Ozzy that he could do. I mean, he already had the hair, but he had like an open leather vest, and he's wearing like a leather-ish pants and these leather cowboy boots, and he's got the circular glasses on. And me, I also had the circular glasses. I even had a cane, but more just that in a minute. So, but he gets everybody hyped up with the first song, Bark at the Moon, and everyone is just jamming, everyone's excited, but I follow after him. And I'm sort of joking about, like, who's going to do a better Ozzy? And I'm there just dressed all in black, and I have this cane that my girlfriend loaned me. It was a cane that she used from when she busted her ankle, and she bedazzled it pretty much. Not actual bedazzle, but wrapped it around with, like, these little, this little string of glitter that gave it a glittery appeal, but it wasn't actual glitter. But I figured, hey, you know what? Ozzy was using a cane in some of his last shows, so I can use this. And I had these steampunk circular glasses that were my roommates. They just happened to be in my car at one point, so I figured, well, I'm going to do it. I only wish that I had a leotard. That would have been funny. But, well, I'll go the impression down. And me and Connor throughout most of the night, we were just trying to out-Ozzy each other. We're just quoting stuff back and forth in his unmistakable accent. And it was just too fun. It was just too funny. But anyway, I take the stage next, and I sing my favorite Black Sabbath song, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. When I saw the spreadsheet of like who was signing up to do what songs, I saw that the vocal slot was open for Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and I go, fuck it, I'm getting on that motherfucker. I want to play that song. I want to sing that song, and I did. I feel like I botched it up a little bit, but, you know, that's okay. That's all kind of unrehearsed. And then what was next was Nativity in Black, and I really wanted to do that one. I had to pull out my old bass tabs from when I learned that song initially when I was still taking lessons some 16, 17 years ago. It was a while since I had played that one. I had to brush up on everything. I mean, the song NIB is, it's simple. It's just the same chords, more or less the same riff throughout most of it. Yeah, I knew how to play that one, but it was the intro the actual intro, if you listen to the first Black Sabbath album in context, you know, it was like, Behind the Wall of Sleep, then Basically, then Nativity in Black. And Basically was just Geezer Butler doing his little solo, which led so seamlessly into the song NIB. And I said, I'm gonna be doing that fucking intro. There is no other way to do it. Yeah, I spent a lot of hours trying to get that shit down, and I got it for the most part, but, you know, even Geezer Butler, throughout the years that he's been playing that song, he does a different rendition pretty much every time because, you know, why wouldn't you? It's your bass solo. You can do whatever the fuck you want as long as people understand what you are doing, they can get the idea. And that's basically what I did. I got a pretty down pat. Well, I think. But just playing NIB with everybody was just such a fun, magical time. More on that in a minute. Anyway, they went into... other artists were coming up and down, other musicians taking different parts, singing different songs. They came into with some awesome Sabbath songs that nobody really remembers, like Snowblind, and also Electric Funeral needed to get some more love, and also some Fairies Wear Boots, which I sang. That was pretty fun. And then, of course, there were some of the token Ozzy songs, like Mr. Crowley and Crazy Train, which was also sung by Connor, and Over the Mountain, which I was a shoo-in for. The thing was, Haley Dahmer, who put this show together, put this whole showcase together, she hits me up. She texts me a couple of days before the showcase and says, "Can you sing Over the Mountain?" What? I need someone to sing that song. Nobody signed up for it. I go, I mean, I'll try. I don't know all the lyrics of that song. I know like maybe 3 lines, which is in the chorus. But you know what? For Ozzy and for you, but for Ozzy, I will do it. And I did. I crash coursed that song for 3 fucking days, listening to it on repeat, just like getting all the lyrics down. It's like, okay, over the mountain, take me across the sky, something in my vision, something deep inside, and so on and so on. And I fucking had most of it down. Like, I remember all the lyrics. It's just a matter of, like, knowing when they come. It was the placement, you know? Word retrieval. That's what my speech therapist taught me when I was doing speech therapy after my injury. And yeah, it was quite a fucking exercise. But I managed to get it. I managed to get up there and serenade everybody. And people were coming to me after the show saying like, "Hey, good job, good singing. You got some pipes on you." I'm like, "Really? I thought it was so off key in certain parts. There were ones where I think my voice cracked. I really got to do better warm-ups." But Over the Mountain went off more or less without a hitch. I was pretty well prepared for that one. And then there was, and then the next one was Crazy, not Crazy, the Crazies Wear Boots. The Crazies Wear Boots. You gotta believe me. Children of the Grave. One of my probably my second favorite Sabbath song off of my favorite Sabbath record. I mean, if you listened to SLC Punkcast a few weeks ago when I was talking about Sabbath and then when I was talking about Ozzy, you understand why I absolutely love Master of Reality and why I absolutely love that fucking song, Children of the Grave. And the vocal slot was already taken. And I thought, okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. They can take that one. They can take the vocal slot, but the bass is open. Okay. Let me just put this into perspective here. I will be playing Children of the Grave, one of my favorite fucking Black Sabbath songs, with my friend, Tyler Barani, who will be drumming this song. These two guys, we had never played a show together. Like, we were never in the same band, like, ever. but we had always played on the same bill. And we were finally playing a show together, and it was with a song by his favorite band. And this was the first song that Barani jumped on. And he played like 6 others after that, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But me and him, we were just like encroached in this moment. We were just living in it. We were like fist bumping and everything. Like, I am so fucking ready. And the guy who was playing guitar, Kalen Phillips. This is the first night that I met him. I just talked with him and be like, hey, we're in the right tuning, C sharp. Yep, okay, we're good. And he said, I'm going to do the embryo intro. Is that cool? I say, oh, there's no other way. There is no other way to start Children of the Grave without embryo. They have to be played side by side. He's like, oh, yeah, I agree. So he did it. He did the little do 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 do, and then it was like, okay, that ends. Me and Tyler and Kalen, we all lock eyes. It's like, all right, let's go. And then the fucking song just hits, goes right into it, and I was on cloud fucking 9, man. It felt like such a good moment. This whole thing reminded me of what it was like when I was in my parents' basement and I was just jamming my favorite songs by my favorite bands with my best friends. We were just fucking around. We were having a good time. That's really what this all felt like. It just felt like a long jam session with a bunch of different musicians who had never played together before. And this was just awesome. It was a great moment for me. And yeah, relearning the bass line to Children of the Grave, I had no idea how much was going on there with the bass. The people always talk about Ozzy and Iommi, but Geezer often gets overlooked. Like, if you really sit down and like try to learn his bass lines, he's keeping very busy. Very busy. Like, if you really listen to War Pigs, there's a lot going on there. Speaking of which, that was my last song of the night. I got to sit back and watch everything else, and there was nothing but big hitters right after that one. After Children of the Grave, Black Sabbath, the song Black Sabbath followed that, and then War Pigs, and then Mama, I'm Coming Home. And this was all and this was just the first 4 songs that Tyler was drumming. And then right after that, who should join the stage but Noah Henley and Jameson Palmer. And, well, Jameson was already on there, but Noah Henley and, of course, Maddie. And next thing we know, Bloodstar was up there, and they were covering Shot in the Dark. I go, there is no better band that can cover this song, honestly. Shot in the Dark. Yeah, it was a good one. That was a great fucking cover. Madeline Smith. She fucking has some amazing vocals on her, making Bloodstar just such an amazing band. Those guys are awesome. I got nothing but good things to say about them, and their Shot in the Dark cover, fucking superb. Superb. One of the major highlights of that night. And then it was followed by another major highlight. Alec Lang of Snuff Tape comes up and takes Maddie's place. And what do? Well, they do a cover of Sweet Leaf. And not just them covering Sabbath playing Sweet Leaf. No, Alec told me that they were covering Thou's version of Sweet Leaf, which makes sense because Alec Lang, he is the vocalist of Snuff Tape, one of the big beatdown bands of Salt Lake City. So that means really low vocals like this. So it made sense that he was going to do Thou's version, and boy, that was a heavy version of Sweet Leaf. God damn. I'm thinking, Sweet Leaf. I nicknamed it Not So Sweet Leaf. I think there's something I think that's laced with something. If you could lace something with weed, or lace weed with anything. Anyway, That was a good fucking set of songs, just like all heavy hitters. Black Sabbath, War Pigs, Mom, I'm Coming Home, Shot in the Dark, Sweet Leaf, and then Hellraiser comes on, and that's when my friend Adrian Garcia comes up and takes the place on the drums and sees out the rest of the show, the final 3 songs. There was Hellraiser, and then that was followed by Iron Man, and then they saved the best for last, Paranoid. And that is when Tyler comes out from behind the drums and is like, I'm going to fucking sing this one. And he does. And I was up there, up in the front, and I was just yelling right up in his fucking face. And so as you hear these words telling you now of my fate, I tell you to enjoy life. I wish I could, but it's too late. Yeah. It was an awesome show. And that's what closed it. And then the DJ takes over, and what's the first song that we play? I'm going through changes. Yeah. I was thinking, yeah, why didn't anybody cover that? And I was telling my girlfriend, Kate, that she should be playing that song. You know, she could just go up there, do a little acoustic version of that song. Well, I mean, that song is already acoustic, but with piano. You know, she plays guitar. And she thought about doing it. I thought, why not? And then there was also my friend Max, who is a keyboardist. He plays piano very well. I was telling him, like, dude, why weren't you up there doing the organ solo for Mr. Crowley? He said, I didn't think to ask. Well, you should have. You should have. Man, some missed opportunities. And one of the glaring omissions from the whole set. I mean, it's Ozzy and it's Sabbath, You're not going to play every single song on there. I get that. Some are just going to fall by the wayside. But how can you play an Ozzy set without No More Tears? Like, that just didn't seem right. It felt very incomplete. I don't know. I guess some people just, maybe threw it on there and nobody was biting. I say, well, why the hell not? That's such a good song. It's such a haunting song, chilling song. It's one of the fucking landmark songs in a fucking landmark album. But I digress. Bitch and moan. What else do I have to complain about? I don't have anything else to complain about. That night just felt so right. Everything felt fucking wonderful. As an observer and as a performer, I couldn't think of anywhere else that I wanted to be. As I said, it felt like the days when I was just jamming with my friends in my parents' basement. We're just young, aspiring musicians. We didn't even know what we wanted to be. We didn't know what band we wanted to be. We weren't even really a band. We were just jamming. And that was it. That was just us living in that moment. And it was great. I wouldn't trade that for anything. It was fucking awesome. Just a bunch of friends, a bunch of us jackasses having fun. Just reminding ourselves, yep, this is what we still do. We're still those dorky metalheads playing songs from our favorite bands. It was great. It was a great show. Fun times. Fun times to be had. Anyway, there was another show that I went to. Another show. Oh, one more thing about the Ozzy show. I was in my little Ozzy impersonations and all this shit. I was always going like, yeah, you may look like Ozzy a little bit more, Connor, but I got the fucking bat tattooed on me. I got the bat too. I got multiple bats. It's a fresh tattoo. It's Bat Country from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. There's plenty of bats on there. I got that the day after my performance as Ozzy. I guess to sort of commemorate it, but really it was just a birthday gift to me. Anyway, so that was the Ozzy tribute show, and it was fucking awesome. Then there was the show that I went to after that, technically after, but not right after. After I got my tattoo, actually. I went over to Willie's, and I watched my girlfriend Kate perform with her band. And this was the first time I had seen a show at Willie's Lounge in a long-ass time. I think the last time I saw a show there was maybe 2017? 2018? It was when Dark Lord was still a band. Yeah. And I can't remember the last time I saw them perform either. Actually, no, I saw them play one time at Aces High. It was a few years ago. But I'm losing the plot here. The last time I saw a show at Willie's was them performing. And it was in the small area. You know, usually they had shows over in the, big Willie's across the street, which had the actual, large-ass stage with a chain-link fence on the front of it. But Little Willie's, they would do floor shows, which was cool. They have the space that's available for it. They do karaoke there. Why wouldn't they be doing shows? But anyway, yeah, the band, the show was happening. It was an album release show for the band Lucid, and Katie was opening up for them with her, with her country solo project, and it was great. It was great. It was nice hearing all these, country songs, all these country ballads on there. And she was going off with some of her quips and everything, just getting personal with the audience and just making them all laugh. And one of the things that she commented on was the mic stand. The mic stand is going straight up like this, and that is not an ideal mic stand for a singer who is also playing guitar, an acoustic guitar. Mind that. It is jutting out like this. And the mic stand is right here, and you have to fit your hand in between the stand and the strings so that you can strum. So she was playing like this the whole time, and she made a comment about it. She's just like, "Well, it's a good thing you're not behind me. Otherwise, you'd be seeing me from the south end." I'm probably misquoting that as fuck. I was really tired that night. But they did it great. You did great, babe. Thought it was fun. And then Lucid came on. I had never heard Lucid, and Lucid is an awesome doom metal band, and yeah, they played a relatively short set. I mean, actually the whole show was pretty short. It was just over an hour long. I think Kate played for about 30 minutes, and then Lucid also played for 35 minutes, something like that. I lost track of time. All I know is that between when it started, setup times, and the two bands performing, it was about an hour, 15 minutes. And nobody really was complaining. But Lucid was really great. They had some great riffs, some cool song structures, and I'm just sitting there headbanging, just vibing with the whole thing. And yeah, I had no complaints about that show. The only complaints that I had was after the show. I was too goddamn tired. I could barely keep my head up, and I just was like, had to excuse myself. It's like, I'm going home. I'm super tired. I don't want to be in a public place right now. And anyone who's been in that situation understands that. You understand me. So yeah, it was a pretty busy weekend for me, but I'm stoked that I managed to get to all those shows, both of those shows, and I'm just stoked that it was fun. But especially the Ozzy show. Like, my God, that Ozzy show was just it just felt awesome. It just felt so awesome. And a lot of people there were like filming it and making making their little posts and their stories on their Instagram, and all the while, Katie, who was a video editor, she was just thinking the whole time, I wish that I had my camera with me, because this is a huge turnout. This is like a big fucking deal here, and it's like, if I had my camera, I could have made this like a mini documentary and make this, and probably, shared it to Sharon Osbourne, just be like, hey, this is for Ozzy. This is what we did here in Salt Lake City, because this was a big thing. And but yeah, I guess that they made Haley made a Google Drive file to for everybody to post whatever video footage or pictures or anything they had from that show, and then Katie would have access to that, and then she can make that a whole edit. I hope that is the case. I can't confirm nor deny. This is just something that was being discussed. I don't know what's actually in effect right now, but it would be awesome if that were, I mean, it is doable. It'd be awesome if it comes to fruition. Because yes, this is something that would be a nice little feather in Aces High and Salt Lake City's cap. This is our addition to Ozzy Osbourne's memorial. Anyway, that was the Tales from the Pit. Now, what about the shows that are coming up? The pits that are yet to be seen. Pits yet to be seen. Well, starting on the 16th, we got quite a few shows happening, one of which is my birthday show. I'll talk about that in just a sec. First up, we got Tyrannus, Shecock, and Exclusionist. Shecock is actually replacing Sex Tape, naturally. Because Sex Tape, I don't exactly know why, but they had to drop off from that show. But that's going to be at Aces. It's going to be $15, and starts at 8 p.m. And then the 16th is mine, Josh's, and Bryce's birthday bash. You see right there. There have been a few lineup changes. Desponia, they dropped off. Well, I mean, they kicked out their guitarist. And then they dropped off of the show and had to cancel their upcoming tour with Primal Aggression, who is still playing this show. But I guess Marine Corps is back on the bill. They're just saying like, okay, I guess we're going to play again. All right, so your funeral. Just kidding. They broke up for a while, but I guess Nikki smoothed everything out with Connor and Nick, and I think, all right, well, let's, or not Nick, Nate. I'm just thinking, all right, if you're just going to go forth as a three-piece and do a little set that's mostly covers, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. You put the show together, whatever. So anyway, Marine Corps is back on, and Primal Aggression still playing. Monstrology is still playing. The Apathetics, of course, are still playing. Kate Leduce is still playing. She'll be doing a little acoustic set, like right smack in the middle between all of these heavy band sets. It'll be the nice little acoustic palate cleanser for everybody. It's perfect. And then Anonymous is going to be playing their comeback show. That's the first show that my band has played, first proper show in almost 2 years. The last show that we played was October of 2023. And yeah, we will be playing as a four-piece. I'm calling this a soft return because we're only going to be playing 4 songs. We're a 4-piece instead of a 5-piece now, which is not how it's meant to be. And we are down one member. Our member, the original guitarist, Ethan, he quit just last night, actually. And it's for personal reasons. It's mostly to do with his job. His jobs. He's a goddamn workhorse. I don't know how he's been keeping afloat, but it's just one of those things that he can't. It's just too much to add right now. It's just too much to add for him, and I understand that. So it does suck that he's gone because he's like the last original member besides me. So yeah, we have a completely different lineup. The songs have been altered. Like some stuff has been added, some stuff has been revised, some has been taken out. Song titles have changed, some lyrics have changed, and the members have changed. So it's a different beast, but I think it's a better beast. Of course, I'm biased because I created it. Anyway. Yeah, that's the whole shebang of what this show on the 16th is going to be. It's going to be at my house, the Poser Palace. Going to be $10, and it will be starting at 5 p.m. Then on the 20th, the Hell of a Summer Tour is coming to Salt Lake with Ice Nine Kills, Dayseeker, Kim Dracula, Funeral Portrait, and, that's all of them. And that's going to be at the Union. Then, also on the 20th, Squid Pisser, Hand Me the Knife, Grace Maker, all 3 of them. Just those 3 bands at Aces High, and that's going to be $15, and it will start at 7 p.m. Then on the 21st, As My Ashes Blur the Sky, Entice, Absolved, Misbegotten, One-Sided, got one side dead. The other side is still alive, but one side is dead. That'll be at the Fellowship Hall. It is $15, and it starts at 7 p.m. And then up north at Black Lung, on the 22nd, I should say, August 22nd, up north at Black Lung Society is Bonginator, Sabotage, or Sabotage. I don't know what that little A with the 2 dots above it, I don't know what sound that makes, but Sabotage, basically. Skullfuck and Harvested will be playing. That is a $15 show, be starting at 7 p.m. And also on the 22nd, well, there's 2 more shows going on the 22nd. Down here, back in good old SL of the Sea, is Recidivist, Misery Whip, Sutures, Knife Point, and Run It Back. That'll be at the Fellowship Silver Hall. It is $15 if you buy in advance, $20 at the door, and it will be starting at 7 p.m. And then the final show on the 22nd, Unseen Corners, Reapers of the Sky, and Solitude will be playing up at the Funkin' Dive. That is also in Ogden. That'll be $5 and will be starting at 7 p.m. So yeah, 2 shows up in Ogden. If you're up there, you got 2 to choose from. And then down here, you got 1. So yeah, kind of depends on your location. And then 2 more shows are happening on the 23rd. The first is Acid Hologram. This is their 10-year anniversary, which will be with Cudney, Wicked Temple. Those are 3 of my favorite heavy bands in Salt Lake right now. That is a stellar lineup. And that'll be at Ace's High Saloon, and it is free. It's a free show. And you see that artwork right there, for the flyer? That was done by my tattoo artist, the one who just did this Fear and Loathing piece that's on me that I showed you a little bit ago. Anyway, kind of cool, don't you think? And that'll be starting at 7:30. Then also on the 23rd at my house we're celebrating our friend Theo's 10-year transversary. 10 years since they came out. So pretty awesome for Theo there. Anyway, we'll be celebrating with by having the Goonbats, Debreeder, Treason, and Vape Plug all playing. Once again, at the Poser Palace, it's $10, and it will be starting at 6 p.m. And then there is another show that I will be attending, but it is not here. It's not up north, and it ain't down south. Well, it kind of is south, but a couple of states over. It's all the way out in Los Angeles. I will be going to see Acid Bath. I will be seeing, the return of Acid Bath, and they will be playing with High on Fire, and they will also be playing with, the return of Acid Bath with High on Fire and Windhand. That was the other band. That's going to be at the Hollywood Palladium. I am fucking excited for that because, while I love High on Fire, I've seen them before. I mean, I want to see them again. And also the fact that this will be my first time seeing a show at the Palladium. I mean, I've only been out to LA for a couple of different shows, but never at the Hollywood Palladium. That is like one of the biggest venues over there. So this will be pretty awesome. But also, it's my first time seeing Acid Bath. I never, ever, ever, ever thought I was going to see Acid Bath because, well, I mean, their bassist died back in the 90s during their heyday, and they broke up. And from the ashes came Goat Whore, which is awesome. I love Goat Whore. And I've seen like all of the big name sludge metal acts from the New Orleans, the Nolans, NOLA sludge bands. Like I've seen Crowbar, I've seen I Hate God, I've seen Down, I've seen Soylent Green. The only one I haven't seen was Acid Bath. And now I get to see Acid Bath. So fucking dope, right? So I'm excited for that. Shout out to my friend Kenzie who sold me her tickets. I have an extra ticket in case anyone wants to go. I know it's kind of short notice, but I have an extra ticket. I have an extra ticket. I'm just kidding. Or maybe I'm not. No, I'm not kidding. I do have an extra ticket, but if anyone who wants to jump on a plane to LA with me and go watch some fucking Acid Bath, then yeah. I gotcha. I was going to bring my girlfriend with me, but we were unable to make it work for reasons need to be explained. It's a dumb reason, but that's just the way that it goes sometimes. But I'll still be out there. I'll still be having a good time paying my dues to some of the originators of the New Orleans sludgy, swampy ass metal sound. It's good shit. All right, well that's it for me, guys. That is all. Those are all the shows that are coming up in the next week and a half or so. In the next 10 days, I think that's an ample amount of time for you to prepare for the oncoming assault. So yeah. I hope you guys have a good week. I hope that you guys, if there are any shows that you attend, I hope that you come back unscathed. And if you do come back not unscathed, hopefully there's a cool story behind it. Well, that's sometimes even better than the show itself. Sometimes. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to pass it over to Dustin. He's going to talk about the other shows that may be happening in your neck of the woods, the nationwide tours that he will be plugging right there. But until next week, I've been Eric, and I'll see you in the pit.
Thank you, Eric. And before we go around the world, I'll quickly mention I went and saw Less Than Jake with their fun little circus to come through town. They kicked off the show with Catbite, and if you haven't seen Catbite, they are definitely worth showing up early for. They were fantastic. First time seeing them for me. Loved it. Fishbone, absolutely amazing again. They put on a wonderful show. Sent videos to my pal Thorsten because they were just so fucking awesome for their 35-minute set. And then, of course, and always, love seeing Suicide Machines. They killed it. Definitely adding them to the bill made me want to be like, yep, I need to see them again. And Less Than Jake put on an absolutely amazing show. Stayed till the end, except for I am not for the encores, the unnecessary encores, the Savior couple songs. And I think they did that. They walked out as soon as they walked off the stage, and I'm not a fan of walking off the stage for like 1 minute and then coming right back and then playing the songs you should have played in the regular part of the set. So that was my experience there. We're now just going to hop around the world as we do. Lower Class Brats still on that tour. So today, I'm doing this on the 15th, but I'm sure that show actually already happened. The Adelaide and then Perth obviously happened. Today, they'll be in Melbourne by the time you're watching this. Then with my pals in Trashed Again on Wednesday the 20th in Newcastle. Crowbar at the Crowbar in Sydney on the 21st. In Southport on the 22nd and the 23rd in Brisbane. And I'll throw some flyers on here as we go through because, again, no particular order here. This weekend in Barcelona, Beach Beer and Chaos is happening the 14th, 15th, and 16th. If you're there, I'm happy for you. They even have a warm-up show on the 13th, or they did. Bands you will have seen and will be able to see this weekend: Cockney Rejects, Battle Ruins, Kelowna, Infame, Violent Way, Squelette, Strong Arm and the Bullies, Area de Combat, Malad, Tear Up, Exili, Hatsa, Bad Terms, Bomber 19, Offensiva, and Ladruk, I think. Either way, fantastic. What a killer lineup. Definitely one of those festivals I want to get to at some point. On the 16th in Phillipsburg, PA at the VFW, you can go see Bomber, Iron Duke, Gang Time, Rage and Ruin. It's $15, but if you get your ticket before, it's the tomorrow. If you get it today, it's $15. If you wait, it's $20 at the door. Doors are at 7, show at 8, and it's all ages. You know what to do. Get the all ages out there. Eric mentioned the Tyrannus show here in Salt Lake. Well, Tyrannus is also going to be in Vegas on the 15th. A 9 p.m. show that'll kick off with God Patrol and Terror Attack at Red Dwarf. It's 21 and older, unfortunately, for you youngsters. But it is free entry, so just go in. I've been to that venue. Cool venue. Drinks and I think it was pizza, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, that's in Vegas. Next up, here's one of those lower class brats flyers. This is the one in Melbourne tomorrow, which might be today, the 16th. They'll be playing with Convict Class, Cantona, and Kmart Warriors. It's 18 and older, an 8 p.m. show. I think for all of the tickets, you can go to vinnystouring.com.au. Here's the one for the 21st. They're playing with Rust, Ruckus, Top Novel. This one's in Sydney at Crowbar, 7 p.m., 18 and older. This is the one with our pals Trashed Again in Newcastle at Hamilton Station Hotel at 7 p.m. on the 20th. Also playing with Top Novel, and I don't know what that is. Inchuds? Something like that. Then Folk Hogan tonight doing a show with Zombie Cock, doing their release show for Elegy. So make sure you go check out our pals Zombie Cock and their new EP that just released today, Elegy. Also on the bill, Captain Daniels and the Sunnybrook Sailors. It's 21 and older. Doors at 8, show at 9. It's at Ace's High Saloon. Then the Havoc. They are going to be in Long Beach, California. Not far for them. $15 for a pre-sale at 7 p.m. for the Doors. They'll be playing with Dogface Bastards, The Chapel, Our Pals in the Afraid, Drunk Little Kids, SOS, and this is at Di Piazza in Long Beach. It's an all-ages show. You know what to do. Get them all ages out there. And then we'll wrap up with this Sunday, August 17th, Syndrome 81 from Brest, France. They're going to be in California at First Street Pool and Billiard. It's in Boyle Heights. They'll be playing with Skinhead, Futura, Usual Suspects, and Expect the Worst. Killer lineups, killer stuff. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Live and Wired. And we will catch you on the next one.